I wanted to make a video of me using EMP III in an alert, but more specifically in hallways. On boss fights, usually you're not moving around, great distances. It's just usually one area, and then you either jump up and down, you lunge, that type of deal on boss fights. When you're moving through corridors or just long distances, like I'm doing in this video, what you'll see me do often is I'll go into stealth, I'll hit battle display, I'll activate my battle awareness. Then you continue the rotation. Here I'm using Gauss Grenade, Fear Gas, and Vortex Cannon, then EMP. Then after EMP, if Distract is available, I'll go into Distract and then hit another EMP. What I'm doing here, because I'm moving around, and in this video it was just like I just kind of went off on my own. Normally I just follow the group, but I just figured, F it, just continue going. You'll see me throw Gauss Grenade, and I just essentially spam Gauss Grenade as I make my way to certain spots. There is something that you could do, which is pre-buffing. So what you do is Gauss Grenade, Fear Gas, Vortex Cannon, and then you lunge in and hit EMP. You want to do that if you know that you're in lungeable range of a boss or an NPC, because if you do that too early and you're still making your way over, or you hit square twice, or X then square, or you just walk past the 3-second mark, your EMP is not going to get tagged, so you're not going to deal the AM damage. So it's kind of tricky. So most of the time, as I make my way from one spot to the next, and it's like it's far, I just throw Gauss. And here I think I'm about to start doing that. I just continue to throw Gauss on that turret. I'm buffing myself, I lunge in, and then I hit EMP. That's how you pre-buff yourself to the next set of ads if there's close range. Here I'm spamming Gauss, and that's the power that I'm primarily going to do that with, because if I'm controlled or knocked down for whatever the reason, you can cast Gauss Grenade, and because it's usable while controlled, you'll be able to activate that tag. So here I'm just continuing the rotation. So when you make your way from one set of ads to the next, you kind of have to you have to measure that distance. You kind of have to be smart about it. You just can't throw powers and then lunge in, and then you wonder why you don't have a registered EMP, or you wonder why your battle display went out. You have to make sure that you're spamming something like Gauss or any of those other powers that you want to use. Make sure that battle display is up, and the key to doing EMP III in these long corridors is to make sure that your battle display is up, because the moment that your battle awareness disappears, you're gonna run out of power, and unless you have a soda or a supply drop ready, or you're running with a controller, you're just gonna go dry. And because I use my supply drop for the 50% buff to my damage, so depending on what I'm doing, most of the time I'm not gonna have that ready. If I do run out of if my battle display does run out, but it depends on the instance as to when I use my supply drop. If it's like some type of raid where we're going for a specific feat, I usually reserve it for healers and trolls and whatever, but here it's just throwing damage. So as the video continues, just basically watch my tune and how I measure the distance between myself, and how I make sure that my crosshairs stay red. You want to make sure that they're red, because that means that your tune can lunge. You're in range to lunge the target. I'm not sure what it is on the keyboard, but on the PlayStation controller, if you press L1, you can lock onto that target, and that's what my tune is doing now. And if you didn't know, if you press right and left on the D-pad, you can cycle through other targets, which is really helpful, especially when you're doing this rotation. That's what I often do a lot, is if I can't reach a certain target because my crosshairs are gray, I cycle to the next closest one, and then from there I just lunge, either from a pre-buff, or I lunge in and then I start buffing myself up to get the tags. So that's another trick that you could use. Another maneuver that you could add to your list, aside from the casting a power and then jumping to move forward, the lunging, the cycling through targets. You can treat EMP III, the loadout, as if you were doing EMP II. And by that I mean exactly what I'm using now on the screen is EMP III. And that's just 3 ways to buff my EMP. And then of course and that includes with stealth, like you'd go into stealth, if you have bunker buster you hit that, you come out and then you hit EMP. So 3 powers, your 3 PIs EMP, distract EMP. What you could do is, for whatever the reason, whether you just don't want to use it or you just want to keep it there or you're saving it, whatever, you just cast 3 powers EMP, distract EMP. And you just continue that throughout the whole instance. Well, not the whole instance, but like from one group 1 to group 2 of the ads. And that's basically all you do. You just keep that stealth available, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm saving it. Why would you want to save it? Obviously for your own personal reasons. Me, it's either, I look at it this way, and there's probably more, but these are the ones that come to mind right now since I'm just like making this video. One of them is like, if there's not a lot of ads left, like maybe 2 or something like that, maybe 3, I'm not going to waste, you know, a stealth EMP and then just to finish them off. But that's more so if their health is very low. Like if there's let's say 3, there's 3 ads and they're at like a quarter or a third health left, and there's other DPSs there and their health is depleting really quick, you're not going to go and do 3 powers EMP, distract EMP, and then stealth. And then from stealth, if you have a bunker buster, you're not going to want to waste that bunker buster on ads that have like a third or a quarter health and their rate of like being destroyed is very high due to the other DPSs. You're going to waste those numbers. Those numbers are not going to go on the scorecard because those guys would have killed it already. You would have gone to like overkill, and this is overkill that again does not register on the scorecard. So I just reserve it. I'll just like continue my rotation, and then once they're down, I move on to the next set of ads. In that, as I do that though, what you could do is if there's the next set of ads, there's more of them, and obviously they're going to have full health because you haven't engaged them yet, I'll just let my battle display run out since I have my stealth available, and then I'll go into stealth, I'll hit my battle display, my bunker buster, my EMP, and of course what happens is I'll hit my my battle display, then I'll hit my bunker buster. As soon as I hit my bunker buster, I'm going to lunge into those ads, and then I'm going to hit EMP. So my bunker buster, because it's far range, damage is going to register. You lunge, your EMP of you coming out of stealth is going to register, and then you just continue, distract EMP, and then your 3 powers. And that's really a good way to net some good damage on the scorecard on ads that have full health, and you're just engaging them, especially if you get to those ads first before the other guys. The downside though to using this EMP III in long corridors, especially in like prison break with like really far distances from one group of ads to the next, is that if you're DPSing or doing a comp or whatever against somebody who's like a speedster or someone who doesn't like have to because essentially what I'm trying to say is that this slows you down. If you don't treat EMP3 as EMP2 in certain spots, especially in raids, you're going to slow yourself down. And it's like common sense. If you're spamming Gauss Grenade, going down a long hallway in Prison Break, and these other guys with super speed or flight or grappling hook or whatever get to those ads first, all because you don't want to waste the battle display, the battle awareness power regen, obviously you just lost out on a ton of damage to net on that scorecard. So this is why I say that it's a good idea to treat EMP3 as EMP2 sometimes. So you have to like play with this, get your hands on this to really know when and where you can go ahead and basically go ahead and waste that stealth, because stealth again has a 30-second cooldown. So be mindful of all that.